What's poppin', everybody? Cerebral44. I know I'm a few days late on this, but it's still a major event we gotta cover. The Pokemon Latin American International Championships 2019 have finished, and we have our winners for their TCG and VGC, but I'm gonna talk about the TCG, of course. That's what we do here. So for juniors, Enrique Quarita from Brazil won using Blaze Falon GX and Anagadel, that deck. It had a good presence on this tournament. I guess a lot of people expected that. For seniors, Christian Moreno won against Daniel Rosas, and he was using the good old Buzzwole Lycanroc GX deck with the new alolan ninetales, the fairy alolan ninetales that grabs you free items. And I'm going to talk about that a little bit later. But he basically said in the interview that he didn't really even play test with the deck, just got the list from I think Alex Shemansky. That's what that guy's name is called, veteran player. Guess he was a little nervous, but they're kids. But he won. He has quite a few accomplishments, believe it or not, and he won against Daniel Rosas. And then Masters, like the title of this video says, Daniel Altavilla did take the Masters division, but there was no Masters final, and I'm going to talk about this in a second. This guy, like I said, the final didn't happen, but this guy's deck, Daniel Altavilla from the US, he was running Zoroark GX, a pure Zoroark GX control deck with the Oranguru that stacks cards on top of your deck, or stacks, yeah, cards back in your deck. And also an accomplished player, just champion in a lot of regionals. I don't remember everything, but I do remember he has quite a few achievements as well. So, all of the guys that won sort of were experienced players in some form or another. And when it comes to the decks, I guess the alolan ninetales splash was really big. A lot of decks got a new life thanks to alolan ninetales. There were two owl decks, Decide I GX, Zoroark GX, alolan ninetales GX sort of variants in the top 8 for the Masters division. I guess with the alolan ninetales, you can really just get your stage 2 guys out quick, and then people thought, well, what's one of the best Pokemon to get out? The Decide IGX, just put free damage counters everywhere. There were two spots with that. I really don't know how popular it was throughout, but that's saying something if two of those decks made it. Of course, you had your typical Zoroark GX, it always represents, and Buzzwole, that was in the top 8 as well. And just like with Christian Moreno, I believe that alolan ninetales, it really helps out a lot of decks. It helps out Buzzwole and Lycanroc even more, because now you can actually just grab the B string exactly the time you want it, and it makes Buzzwole even stronger, honestly. I mean, I know I hyped up Zeraora GX, and I still believe it's a good deck if just people play it, but I didn't take into consideration that a deck like Buzzwole was going to be able to really utilize Ninetales. With that, they just might have an even better matchup against it, not just the weakness. So who knows? We'll still see what happens. When I do get eventually the cards, I'm going to try it out. But for now, there was no Zeraora GX presence, no Lightning decks utilizing Electro Power. Maybe that's going to change when the Tabu Koko Prism comes out, but that remains to be seen. And the Gramble decks, the Fairy Gramble decks, the sort of handless deck, I wasn't really aware of that. I did read about it a little bit, but I think it's kind of like a deck that sort of people first realized on this tournament. Like it got sort of popular in this tournament. You go handless, and that Gramble can do 160 for 1 energy, I believe, and you can use a lot of different cards that help it out, like the new Sightseer. But anyways, it was basically typical stuff. A lot of the hype decks from Lost Thunder got represented. Blaze Falon, that deck is pretty real, of course. Your energy acceleration, getting one-hit knockouts, and just has the, not plasma, the Ultra Beast support, of course, consistent, powerful. What you want from a deck, basically. The Zoroark was there, Buzzwole was there, those sort of the usual suspects. They're always going to be good for as long as they're around. And I think there were a few other rogue decks, maybe. Don't remember. I didn't really check this whole tournament. Just watched a few of the finals, a few games. But The main thing that people got from the event is that there was no Masters finals because the dude Pedro Henrique from Brazil as well, not to be confused with the Rayquaza GX World's top 4 finalist, the Pedro Torres Enrique, not that guy, another guy. He cheated, and I did see the game where he cheated. Well, he basically shuffles the deck in a way to keep alolan muck at the top, and then you know he cheated because I look at him how he shuffles that deck, shuffles his deck on that particular instance, and then how he shuffles the deck throughout the rest of the game, other instances. So yeah, he did cheat, and he got disqualified, and that's how Daniel Alvida basically got a free Masters win, just like that. And that guy was also using a Zoroark GX variant with Macargos and stuff. But anyway, I want to talk about cheating a little bit since that's the topic that came from this championship is that guy cheating. And because it doesn't happen as much in the Pokemon TCG, that's why it's sort of special. And yeah, the Pokemon TCG is one of those TCGs where I think a lot less people cheat. It always happens, of course, but very few people I would say cheat, especially compared with other TCGs. Like for Yu-Gi-Oh, I would say 1 out of 5 players like cheats, wants to cheat, or wants to find a way to cheat. The Pokemon TCG, I'd say it's much more healthier in that regard. But of course, we're not immune to it. It can happen, and if this guy cheated uh, right now on this sort of scale, then you can bet he probably cheated before. It's like plagiarism. If you sort of did this once, if you tried it once, if you got caught doing it once, then it's likely you did that before many, many times. Maybe got away with it too. But yeah, it does suck. Thankfully, they did catch him. That's the point of the judges and the cameras and stuff. So it pays off. It paid off. But it still sucks. The tournament got sort of ruined thanks to that cheating. No Masters final to show, and it's kind of awkward always when the announcers got to say, yeah, the dude got disqualified. They didn't say he cheated, but we know he cheated basically. If you go watch the game on YouTube and you watch carefully, you go to those moments where he shuffles the deck, you know he's cheated. So yeah, it does happen. You always got to be careful and don't do it. It's not really worth it. Winning. I mean, I guess unless you really just you want to win to get the money so bad. But if you're in a financial situation where you need that sort of money, banking on Pokemon TCG isn't the way to go. And money aside, if you did end up winning and not getting caught, it makes sort of your championship title kind of worthless, even if nobody else would know, as long as you know. And it does make it kind of pointless. You don't want to, you really want to be the guy that won and you know that you cheated to do so, or you want to win and just do it the right way. Do it fair and square, win fair and square, don't cheat. It's not worth it. Okay, and on that note, I don't have like the chart with the decks and fancy stuff like the other times on the World Championship, our last World Championship. I didn't really pay that much attention to this tournament, which is why I didn't even realize it was going on until the last minute. But if there's anything to take away from, I guess, this championship is that alolan ninetales, it's a really good splash. I mean, people did think it was going to be a really good stage 1 splash, get 2 items, but maybe it's even much better than we thought. Sometimes when it's not a basic and it's a stage 1, people might think, you know what, it's going to take up more space, but it really is a consistency card getting you 2 items. Any 2 items, man, it's pretty strong. So it's that, it really just brings new life to a lot of decks. I wonder what other decks are going to be able to be powerful with the alolan ninetales GX Splash Fairy 1. And it's a good attacker too when you think about it. If you're running those special energies, the unit energies and stuff, it can attack. It's going to do 100 for 2 and factoring in the spread. And its GX attack even counters those Ultra Beasts. So it's just an all-around good package on a card. Brings a lot to the table. Other than that, I mean, Blazephallon is pretty good. Nothing from Zeraora GX so far. And there's a few new faces, non-GX faces like Gramble, that might become a thing. There was no Lost March, at least in the top 8 for the Masters that I talked about. No Zeraora GX, I mentioned that. Malamar, Giratina, it's given it new power with that spell tag, and just a lot of the typical stuff that we can expect. Hopefully, maybe Zero Aura GX can do something, and people start realizing it's good. And I'm gonna try and just experiment with more decks and stuff, show you guys. But anyway, this is the the Latin American Championships in a nutshell. The guy a guy cheated, and we didn't get any finals, and that's basically it for the most part. And on that note, that's really all I have to say for this championship, Latin America 2019. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys subscribe, leave a like, share this with your friends, and I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching. Stay Bro 94. What's up?